It's no surprise that the San Francisco 49ers quarterback position, and specifically Brock Purdy, is a polarizing conversation regarding his play throughout this season. Well, that's why we've been pulling from different spots. Steve Young, other guys who have played the quarterback position like Kurt Warner, all coming to the defense of 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, because for whatever reason, we live in this microcosm of people constantly trying to tear down the San Francisco 49ers quarterback. And this time it is Brock Purdy. And obviously, Brock Purdy hasn't played perfectly over the last 3 weeks prior to the bye. Well, that has caused people to try to understand and basically determine what Brock Purdy is and what kind of is he Mr. Irrelevant? Is he a guy who's not worthy of being a starter? Is he the guy? All these different types of things. You constantly have people trying to take away from Brock Purdy and what he's been able to accomplish in his young career. Well, former 49ers quarterback Alex Smith, who, if you don't recall, took a very long time to develop and become the quarterback that we saw at the end of his career because of a lot of different reasons. But you can see there is developmental time for these quarterbacks, and who's to say Brock Purdy still isn't developing? Listen to Alex Smith and what his assessment is of if Brock Purdy is the problem for the San Francisco 49ers moving forward.
The talk of Brock Purdy being the problem is absolutely nonsense. As bad as he's been in the last 3 weeks, which again, this is a guy that didn't throw an interception the first 5 weeks. Yes, he's thrown 5 in the last 3 weeks. And I know there's some of them been questionable and the concussion. There's been some goofy things. He's still second in the NFL in QBR. And more importantly, when you turn on the tape, this guy routinely makes ridiculous plays in the passing game. Look routine. Exactly that. Like he does it week in and week out. There are multiple pass plays every single week that you look at that are like, man, this guy's a 6-year, 7-year veteran. Like he's playing at that level. And I think sometimes we unfairly compare him to those guys. We unfairly compare him to where Dak Prescott is and Jalen Hurts and some of these guys that he's going to have to play in the NFC. We don't forget, listen, what has he played? 13 games, right? Like his real comparisons are Pickett and Ritter and Malik Willis and Matt Corral and Sam Howell. Like these are the guys that he got drafted with that were drafted ahead of him. And he is light years ahead of them. He is not the problem. They're going to get Debo back. They're hopefully going to get Trent Williams back. Like that's going to help. And for me, far more question marks about this defense, but I still think they're going to get figured out. They're too good. I love that they added Chase Young here to kind of solidify that defensive front. I think he's going to add to it. I think they're going to get it dialed in. Problem is they've kind of dug themselves a little hole, certainly to try to go get that bye, the number 1 seed in the bye. I mean, the Eagles obviously a couple of games out in front, and that's obviously such a big advantage come January.
Alex couldn't be more spot on with this take. One of the biggest problems with people trying to evaluate and analyze who Brock Purdy is who they're comparing him to. They're comparing him to guys that it's not an apples to apples comparison. You're taking a guy and you're comparing him to some of the better quarterbacks in the league who have been doing it for years. With Brock Purdy, he hasn't been doing it for years. He doesn't even have a full 17 games started under his belt. Like he doesn't have a full 1 season. So we're still trying to determine what he is. So why are we comparing him to guys who've been starting for years? I mean, look at Jalen Hurts. It took him until year 3 for everything to really click. And even now in year 4, things are starting to, he's still figuring things out. Josh Allen didn't take until year 3, and even now still trying to figure things out. So this unrealistic measuring stick that people try to use against Brock just simply because he played so well that now that he looks somewhat human, people are going to the opposite extremes of saying he's just not that guy. He isn't the real deal and all that nonsense that comes along with it. Now, young quarterbacks are going to have growing pains, and it just took Brock Purdy quite some time to run into those growing pains, and he's human. Let's call what it is. He is a human, and he is going to have natural ups and downs in his game. And I agree again with Alex Smith. Watch the tape. The tape tells you exactly what is going on, and Brock Purdy is playing really, really well. In the last 2 weeks, Brock in the Vikings and in this Bengals game has played exceptionally. Just some unfortunate turnovers at the end of games, which is a area where he needs to improve upon. But it's not because he's a bad quarterback. So I agree 100% with Alex Smith. And again, my biggest thing when it comes to evaluation is you evaluate. You let your eyes tell you what you see and you trust what you see. Obviously, we are going to lean on other opinions, we're going to lean on experts, etc., etc. But it's like know who you're listening to. And there's a common theme here. If you listen to the guys who actually played quarterback, if you listen to guys who've played quarterback at a high level or understand how to break down football, they all believe in Brock Purdy and that he is the real deal. Again, you can go down the list. Baldy believes in Brock Purdy. Greg Cosell believes in Brock Purdy. Kurt Warner believes in Brock Purdy. Steve Young believes. Joe Montana believes. Alex Smith believes, I believe. Um, so again, you can listen to whoever you want, but I always encourage people to trust their own eyes, trust their own evaluations, and then supplement expert opinions to kind of gauge your evaluation. And my evaluation falls in line with a lot of the people that I trust when it comes to breaking down quarterback play. And again, you don't even have to listen to these guys. Just watch the tape. The tape will tell you exactly what you need to see. And what we see is Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. He just ran into a little bumps and bruises down the stretch these last couple games. So, what does that mean moving forward? It means we got to see Brock Purdy continue to take those steps forward, progress, and get better. Is he going to have days where he has a setback? Absolutely. All quarterbacks do. Is he going to have days where he carries the team? Yes. So we're going to have to live with the ups and downs of a young quarterback, just as every other team has to do, is live with the ups and downs of a young quarterback. So that's what we're going to do. And again, I suggest listening to people who have played the position at the highest level. Don't even have to just listen to me. Listen to these other guys like Alex Smith, who break it down perfectly and express what is really going on in the minds of people who understand football at its highest level. But you guys let me know what you think. What is your take on this? Is Brock Purdy fool's gold? Is he flash and mirrors, just a product of Kyle Shanahan and all the weapons around him? Or is Brock Purdy actually a good quarterback and he's a young quarterback and continuing to grow? Let me know what you think. Is he just he's not a guy at all, or is he a good quarterback? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and always make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.